Have you ever just stopped and quietly asked yourself, what's the point of all this? You're not alone. It's this universal search for meaning, for a real purpose in our day-to-day lives. Well, today, we're going to dive into a concept that might just hold the key.
I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? And we're not talking about the alarm clock buzzing or the giant to-do list. No, this is about that deeper reason, that internal fire that actually gets you going.
Well, the Japanese have this absolutely beautiful word for this exact feeling, Ikigai. If you translate it, it's something like a reason for being. And it's so much more than just a cool idea. Think of it like a compass for building a life that's genuinely full of meaning and joy.
Okay, so how in the world do we find this reason for being? Here's the interesting part. The whole philosophy of Ikigai teaches us that it's not something you go out and chase or like a trophy you achieve. It's actually something you cultivate day by day through balance and intention. Ikigai is found right in the sweet spot where 4 circles overlap. I want you to picture a Venn diagram, but for your soul. It's that perfect center where what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you can get paid for all come together. And don't worry, we're going to break each of these down in just a bit. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds a little abstract, but what if I told you there's a real place where people are living this philosophy every single day? We're talking about Okinawa, Japan. It's famously known as the land of immortals, and for good reason. It has one of the highest numbers of centenarians, people living past 100, anywhere in the world. And here's the kicker. Their incredible long life isn't just about good genes or amazing doctors. It's actually rooted deep in their culture, their daily habits, and this incredibly powerful sense of purpose that literally fuels their body and their soul. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, for one, they have a saying, hara hachi bu, which means they eat only until they're about 80% full. Smart, right? They also stay active, but it's not about hitting the gym. It's all woven into their life, gardening, walking, even dancing. They also build these lifelong support groups called moai. And maybe most importantly, they wake up every single morning with a clear sense of purpose. Let me give you a perfect picture of this. Imagine a 90-year-old fisherman. He still goes out on his boat every single day. He doesn't need the money. He does it because it connects him to his friends, it keeps him moving, and it gives him a solid reason to get out of bed. That, right there, is Ikigai in action. All right, let's bring this back to you. Let's look at the framework itself and how you can use it as a kind of personal map to find your own Ikigai. This is where things get really practical, and we start asking some pretty important questions. First up, circle number 1 is all about passion. And for just a minute, I want you to completely forget about what's practical or what pays the bills. What do you do that just makes you lose all track of time? What are you just naturally curious about? This is our starting line. Think about an artist who paints just for the sheer joy of it, not because they want to be famous or get into a gallery. That kind of deep fulfillment, it comes from being aligned with who you are on the inside, not from chasing some external trophy. Okay, next up, this is where we shift our focus and start looking outward, because our sense of purpose gets so much deeper when it connects to something bigger than just us. So you got to ask yourself, what problems out there bother me? What kind of contribution do I want to make? And listen, this doesn't have to be some monumental, save the world kind of thing. It can be a teacher shaping young minds, a nurse offering comfort, or a craftsman who just makes something beautiful that lasts. When our own talents meet the needs of other people, that's where we find profound meaning. All right, now for a dose of reality. Passion is fantastic, but we also have to, pay the bills and keep the lights on. This circle isn't about getting crazy rich. It's about finding a way for your purpose to actually support your life, creating this healthy flow of both joy and a sustainable livelihood. And this is a huge distinction in the Ikigai way of thinking. Money should be a result of living your purpose, not the purpose itself. It's a tool, right? It's supposed to serve your life, not the other way around. The moment we start chasing money blindly, that's usually when the meaning starts to fade. And finally, the 4th circle, the last piece of the puzzle. What are you genuinely good at? What are your unique skills, your strengths? What are the abilities you've been building up over the years? This requires some real, honest self-assessment, because when you align what you love with what you're actually good at, that's where you find that state of flow, of effortless competence. But here's the thing, just finding that sweet spot in the middle of those 4 circles, that's not quite the whole story. To really live your Ikigai, you also have to cultivate an inner compass, a specific kind of mindset that supports a life of purpose. And it really boils down to three key pillars. First, there's flow. That's that amazing state where you're so deep into what you're doing that time just disappears. Then there's gammon, which is this quiet strength, this resilience to face tough times with dignity and patience. And third, moai. Just like we saw in Okinawa, those deep social connections that support you through everything life throws at you. I mean, this comparison says it all, doesn't it? When a challenge hits, someone without that strong sense of purpose might just throw their hands up and say, why me? But a person who's anchored in their Ikigai, they're much more likely to ask, okay, what can I learn from this? That simple little shift changes everything. It turns struggle into growth. And we really, really can't overstate how important connection is. This Okinawan saying just nails it. You know, modern life can feel so isolating sometimes, but Ikigai is this powerful reminder that strong relationships aren't a nice to have. They are absolutely essential for a long, happy, and meaningful life. Okay, so we've walked through the philosophy, we've seen the real-world examples, we've got the framework. The only thing left now is to bring it all back home, to you, your journey to discover your Ikigai. It can start right now, today. So where do you begin? It all starts with a little bit of reflection. Seriously, grab a piece of paper and think about these 4 questions. Don't judge your answers, don't censor yourself, just write. The answers you find where all of these overlap, that's where you'll find your path. And please, remember this one thing. This is not a race. It's not some project you have to finish by next quarter. You can't force it. Ikigai is something you uncover, slowly, through patience and trial and error, and just becoming more self-aware. It's really just a quiet process of listening to what your life is already trying to tell you. So when all is said and done, what's the big takeaway here? Your purpose isn't some huge, far-off goal you have to go out and achieve. It's right here. It's waiting right now, quietly, in the small, intentional choices you make every single day. The only real question left is, are you ready to start living it?